Thank you. Yes. I think one of my mottos that I've come across since beginning my business is kind of being the change that you want to see is one of the big quotes that I always hear about, but the one that makes the most makes the most sense and meaning to me now that I've done it is be the change you want to see in the world. So if I want to see whatever in the world, I have to do that first by setting the example.
Welcome to another episode of WyzeCast, the show that elevates voices, shines the light, showcases the gifts of our heart-centered guests, and amplifies the positive differences they are making in the world. I am excited about today's guest. She is a young, vibrant entrepreneur with a heart of gold. She designs custom journals for personal development and healing. She pours her love into the pages of these journals, handwriting and drawing all the beautiful spreads. Recently, she has expanded her business to include affirmation cards, self-love booklets, art prints, bookmarks, and more. She has started collaborating with other creatives to innovate digitizing her journals for faster turnaround without losing the personalization her clients have come to love. At a time when people are feeling more and more disconnected, our next guest is dedicated to creating unique pieces to help people align with their authentic self, bringing them closer to their true identity and feeling complete within. Having the wisdom of knowing that in order to feel connected with others, we must first feel connected to ourselves. It might shock you to find out that our guest today is only 23 years old. I know. I wish I had that wisdom at 23 years old. My name is Melanie McSally, your host for today's episode. And without further ado, I would like to welcome the beautiful, the amazing, the compassionate Evelyn Carrington. Evelyn comes to us from my home state of Massachusetts. Welcome, Evelyn.
Hi, Melanie. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on this podcast.
How did you decide to start your business?
So in 2021, I had dropped out of college after going for my 1 year. I went to UMass Dartmouth. Didn't really feel like it was for me. I was kind of lost of what to do, what to study, what I wanted to pursue. So I dropped out, and then I started working at Dunkin' Donuts for a few years, and that was kind of along the same lines of knowing that this wasn't really for me, but it was something to do in the meantime. So after I quit working at Dunkin' Donuts and kind of just started to feel like there was nothing that I was working towards or doing, I didn't feel any sense of purpose, I started to journal again because I've been into journaling my whole life. So I wanted to journal again and just see where my head was at, where I was going, what I wanted, whatever was coming up. So after I started to journal again, I rediscovered parts of myself that I had lost along the way, things that were hidden or that were changed, or just parts of me that I wasn't seeing anymore show up in my everyday life. And so after I started journaling again and kind of like got back in touch with myself, I started to see what I like to do and that I really loved journaling. And so once I started to work on myself, it was kind of easier to see what was mine and what was everyone around me, because like I have a big family. So for the main part, after journaling and starting to get my self-love and my self-care and my sense of identity, I wanted to help those around me because I love my family and I want to help as many people as I can. So I started to make journals for them, for gifts, for Christmas, birthdays, whatever was, the holiday near the time that I was making them at. And I started to see a shift in the people around me, which helped me to make the decision to start my business to customize journals for those on their own separate journey, whatever it be, whether it be self-growth, personal development, healing, shadow work, whatever it was. I wanted to help in any way I could by making journals. And I wanted to show people that it was possible to go from being depressed or lost or unmotivated to the exact opposite of being motivated, inspired, excited, and powerful, and doing something that was meaningful to them by just starting with self, their own identity, and learning about themselves, getting to know themselves, so that way they could take that into whatever they wanted to create for the world.
I love this. And I love a good journal. I mean, I love journals with quotes, inspirational messages, writing prompts, etc. I know you've created over 100 journals. What a blessing to your friends, your family, your clients to have these very custom, very personalized journals. Not only are they beautiful, but they're also tools to help people on their personal journey.
Thank you. Yes. I think one of my mottos that I've come across since beginning my business is kind of being the change that you want to see is one of the big quotes that I always hear about, but the one that makes the most meaning, makes the most sense and meaning to me now that I've done it is be the change you want to see in the world. So if I want to see whatever in the world, I have to do that first by setting the example. Through journaling for myself and starting my business is to help those around me, to help the collective in general, to help the universe, and to just help uplift the world's frequency as a whole, to just help in healing, to help others, to love harder and more deeply and more openly and vulnerably. And I feel like my purpose in general that I'm getting a better understanding of now is just like pure love and like acceptance and support, and just having a safe environment for all of us humans to really unfold and to connect and express whatever we want to express.
And acceptance, exactly what the world needs right now. I have an idea of how you achieve this, but why don't you tell our listeners? How does your business relate to your purpose?
Journals for people on whatever journey they're on, giving them a safe place to rediscover themselves under all the layers of conditioning and brainwashing, societal norms and expectations, any preconceived ideas that have been placed upon them that keeps them being to help heal the world. We have to be able to feel things fully in a safe way where we can have a better understanding of it, a better awareness, instead of feeling like it's only adding pressure to the already weight of our shoulders, if that makes sense. But to fully feel things and work through them in a healthy way instead of pushing them away or numbing or avoiding out of fear.
Yes, that totally makes sense. And having a safe space to express and process is something everyone needs. There's so many cultures that are taught not to share their struggles. They're taught to put on a brave smile and bottle up the troubles inside. But what we've been learning over the last centuries is that that is not healthy. So I am delighted that you've found this as your purpose.
Mind is you can't save others unless you save yourself. Like on the plane, they tell you put your own oxygen mask on before putting on others. Like the same thing with my business and journaling and self-care and just personal development. You can't save anyone else unless you save yourself. So I can't help anyone else unless I help myself and make sure that I'm putting myself first always.
Exactly. So then, Evelyn, that poses the question, when you're running a business that is so focused on helping and healing others, how do you find balance?
At times it can be very difficult and very frustrating, and it's definitely a learning curve. It's an experience. It takes trial and error, and you'll definitely get there on your own. But for me, what has been helping is aligning myself with the moon phases. So from the new moon to the full moon, which is the light is getting larger, I will focus on my work stuff, my business stuff, anything that's outside of me externally that I want to work on. And then from the full moon to the new moon, the second half of the lunar cycle, I will focus on more personal things for myself, like my own journal, my own goals, my own little projects that I'm working on that are aside from my business, and just focus the second half on pouring back into me and making sure that I'm charged up, so that way when the time comes again where the new moon is out, I can work on orders and not feel like I'm burnt out, or that I've only been spending time doing my business stuff and I feel like my own personal identity is kind of getting lost in that. Then I want to make sure I take time to just focus on me and make sure I'm doing things that make me happy and that I am still working on my own personal growth instead of making that kind of mixed with my business. I am working to take plenty of breaks and to move my body because a typical journal order could take like 30 hours for me to work on, depending on how much of it is filled and stuff. So I definitely want to make sure that I'm taking care of my physical vessel, because that is like my car. And if without fuel or the right proper care, then I won't be able to keep working and keep moving and keep doing the things that I want to do.
I love that you put a structure to it, and specifically a structure that happens automatically every month. There's certain things that, as a society, we just automatically do based on the calendar. We celebrate holidays at the end of the year, and maybe we reflect on that previous year. We celebrate the entrance of a new year, and maybe we look out into the future and we set our goals and vision for that year. Some cultures even do things around the solstices, but you're setting your balance based on something that happens automatically every 15 days. I love that, because if you ever get off track, you could just be like, oh, where are we? And, this is what I need to be doing right now to take care of myself and to take care of my clients. So I love it. I actually set my intentions based on the lunar cycle, both personally and professionally. You set the seeds for what you want to accomplish over the next 30 days. In the new moon, you sow them. In the quarter moon, you harvest whatever is ready at the full moon, and then you release what's no longer serving you, and reflect on those goals in the 3/4 moon. So every week, basically, you're doing something. So I also love this idea, though, of breaking that cycle into halves and saying, I'm going to focus personally, I'm going to focus on my business, because, so often we work for our businesses instead of on our business. And, part of taking time for yourself is also taking time for your business, right? Of like, how can I work in my business, on my business? How can I work on myself? How can I make sure my cup is full and show up for people at 100%? Because, showing up for people half empty or half full is not giving your absolute best, right? So thank you for that strategy, and thank you for that gift. I've learned so many things already today. What insights have you gained on your entrepreneurial journey so far?
Before I had my website, I would take orders through, social media, and then after I was done with their order, their journal, I would then get payment through Cash App or Venmo or whatever, But so before my website, I kind of have learned a lot, made a lot of mistakes, but all mistakes are lessons and stepping stones. So I learned that I should make sure to take payment first, because about 2 journal orders that I had done before starting my website, I had completed them, and like before I had completed them, they were very exciting, communicating back and forth with me about their journal. They're excited, thankful, and then after I was done, however long later, because when I first started, it would take me a few months to work on journals, and then as I did it more and more, it would take less. But a few months later, when I said I had finished it, they never answered me, so that was 30 plus hours for every journal that I did that they didn't answer and I didn't get payment for. So I definitely learned to be flexible, to put myself first, and to set boundaries, and to make sure I'm pricing things the way that I deserve, because I can tend to undervalue myself and the work that I do, because part of my business is wanting it to be affordable to people, for everyone. So I've been learning to really be more compassionate and understanding with myself, and allowing things to flow and align in the way they're supposed to, instead of feeling like I need to force anything, or, those people that didn't pay me, I have to like reach out or send them. So I didn't do that, because it was like my first year, and I just realized it was more for me to learn and take the lesson from, instead of making it into a thing. So I definitely learned to take whatever difficult moments I have and turn them into something positive to use for my growth and my understanding and my growth in my business. Thing that I want to add to that is just being more respectful to myself as a new business owner and as a young business owner, and just to value myself, my gifts, my time and energy, and all the work that I do. Things that I started my business wanting to have is affordable journals for everyone, so that everyone can, journal and, work on themselves, and it's not going to be like a crazy amount of money. And then as I went along, I started to realize that there wouldn't be one size fits all journal that would be available and affordable to everyone. So I learned very quickly to allow things to just be as they are and to just have different things priced different ways and just allow the journey to unfold as it does and to use whatever comes up to create something new in a way instead of having this set idea before I started and then it not going that way, having to feel like I'm not getting there, instead just changing as I go and being with the flow, being flexible, allowing everything to just be as it written to me, is making sure I only work on journal orders or orders in general when I feel good and at my best, because energy is everything. And so whenever I work on something, the energy, the thoughts that I have at the time is going to be transferred to whatever I'm working on, and I want to make sure that I'm having the most intentional, positive, loving items and journals, stuff, products for my customers. So that's one thing that I prioritize, is making sure I'm in a good energy first, to make sure that whatever they are getting has the same energy that I want to bring and have in my business.
Oh my God, once again, so much wisdom at such a young age. I love that you think about the energy that you're transmuting or transferring into the products that you're creating for your clients. Listeners, I hope you can hear the love and care that Evelyn pours into each one of her creations. It's a common problem among new entrepreneurs, and especially female ones, to undervalue our gifts, our products, our services. So I love that you touched upon that here. It's definitely a struggle to find that balance between being able to offer your gifts to all the various economic levels, but to do so in a way that doesn't undervalue yourself. So I'm happy that you touched upon that and did so vulnerably for our listeners. Speaking of gifts, I know that you have something special you've been working on that you want to share with our listeners. Can you tell us about it?
So one of the things that I have worked on creating since I started my own business is this growing business catalog for any business owner or anyone looking to shop small owned businesses. They can go on, it's a Google Doc, so you can go on the actual Google Doc. So how it works is it's just a place for all like-minded business individuals to come, to network, to grow together, to heal together, to collab together. It has so much good stuff in there. There's websites, there's keywords, there's links you can click on right there so you don't have to leave the page to go check something out. There's comment sections, so if anyone's bought from there, you can check reviews right there on the doc instead of having to leave and go to their website and then check their reviews for it. It's just a perfect place for people to share, and it's a perfect place to shop. So if anyone's looking for, let's say, custom journals, they can go into the doc and click Control F for find and type in journals, and then whatever businesses have the keyword journals will pop up, so that way people can shop efficiently and quickly for whatever they're looking for. And so if you guys are interested in checking it out, or if you have your own business and want to add to it, it will be linked below, and you can just add your own on there, your own picture, your own links, anything you want to. Just make sure you're adding keywords that will be searched for anyone that's looking for the products that you have or the services that you have. Just make sure you put keywords that will go with what you have to offer people, so when they search that, you pop up for them.
Listeners, you heard it here. A space to grow, to heal, and to collab with each other. Of course, the link is on the screen for those of you that are viewing. For everyone, the link will also be in the description. I suggest you go check it out. There's a lot of great stuff in there. And of course, Evelyn's amazing creations, custom journals, bookmarks, all the beautiful things that she creates, pours her love and compassion into, energy is in there as well. So please do go check that out. And of course, you can add your own products and services in there if it's in alignment with you and Evelyn. Thank you, Evelyn. It has been such a delight having you and your adorable self. It's been my honor to listen to your vast wisdom at such a young age, and experiencing your passion to raise the vibration of the universe through love.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I had a blast, and I really appreciate you having me on your podcast. I love you, Melanie, and thank you everyone for watching. Mwah! I love you, Mel.
I want to thank our listeners for tuning in. If you like what you heard here today, please do like, share, and comment. We are trying to get WyzeCast to be a hot new release. So if you feel inspired, if you felt moved, if you felt called, if we earned it, please do like, share, and comment. It is free for you to do so. It really helps the podcast grow, and we really do love your engagement. This was another episode of WyzeCast, the show that elevates the voices, shines the light, showcases the gifts of our heart-centered guests, and amplifies the positive difference they're making in the world. If you want to learn more about WyzeCast, you can visit our website at wyzecast.com. We drop 10 episodes every month on the 21st, so you can binge watch or spread them out over the month, whatever suits your mood and lifestyle. Once again, my name is Melanie. It has been my pleasure being your host today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your engagement. And I invite you to come back and join me once again for our next episode of WyzeCast.